tsela ya A3 e kaiwa fa e le botlhokwa mo go thuseng itsholelo ya lefatshe leno. Banni ba ngau ba kopiwa go dirisa lenaneo la Archencheng go tlotlomatsa ngwao le ditso tsa bone. Fa mo go tsa metshameko mogolwane wa tsa setegeniki yo mošwa kwa BFA wa solofetsa go tlhabolola kgwele ya dinao mono gae. What's up, Kgang tsa BTV News. Mme mo nakong ya gompieno di go kopanya le nna o ratile ke fitlhile Tshepiso Sekolo o diranola ka puo ya diatla. Fa re simolola ka tse di gogang kwa pele tsela ya A3 e simologang kwa toropong ya Francistown go ya Maung e kailwe e le mang mo go thuseng motsamao wa dithoto le batho. Selo se se ka thusang lefatshe leno go itepatepanya le dikgwetlho tsa go tlhoka go iketla ga seemo sa itsholelo. Go agiwa ga tsela eo go gateletswe e le sesupo sa gore puso e tsere maikemisetso a go tsholetsa seemo sa itsholelo le go tsisa ditlhabololo. Tautona Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi o buile se maabane kwa tshimolodisong ya kago ya tsela ya A3 kwa Mathangwane. Ke letleletswe Semolekae go na le ko.
Badirisi ba tsela jaanong ba ka bola dipelo morago ga dingwaga e tshabelelwa ke dikotsi e le ka ntlha ya seemo sa yone. Tsela e saleng e emetswe ke yone e golaganyang motsamao wa dithoto mo mafatsheng a Aforika, selo se e bileng se tla nna mosola mo papadisanong le go nosetsa kgolo ya itsholelo.
This groundbreaking ceremony of the promised infrastructure projects presents a sign of commitment and resolve by my government to develop this country into a hub for the sustainable delivery of goods, services, and technological advancements. Such will result in a surge in employment opportunities across sectors during execution, the enhancement of transport connectivity in the region, and therefore the facilitation of smoother trade in goods and service across borders. We are here to kickstart construction activities for a major road project, a regional project, an international corridor that not only carry goods and services from our neighboring countries or neighbor to our neighbors, or DRC. It carries goods and services from across the globe.
Tiragalo e ya nontsha banni pelo ka mathe.
Tsela e eta re busetsa go le gontsi diteraka tse di tona tse di hitang ha le tsona gongwe re bate mo sengonyana re je sengonyana gore madinyana re a ntshang
lenaneo le lešwa la ditlhabololo la Development Manager Model ga supiwa le tla thusa gore tsela e dirwe ka nako le ka madi a beilweng.
Tlwaelo ya gore go tsewe bo 24 months, 36 months, bone ba tshotse 6 months go read survey this road. Maybe ha ba go e dira bo tla tlhalosa 200 kilometers yo. Di kontraka tsa BOTSWANA nngwe le nngwe ya go hiwa 50. Ya bohelo e be le itebaganya le marogo hela. Ko gore ka bokhutshwana tsela e ra go e delivera mo nakong e khutshwana.
For us to be sure that we don't risk, we have to bring our best experts to make sure that what we are costing is close to accurate as possible. Otherwise, we will be in trouble because government will not entertain any variations.
Bao ba gaufi le tsela e 200 kilometers ya A3 ba kgothatsiwa go iketa ka thupana go simolola dikgwebo ka nako ya kago ya tsela e. Ke letleletswe Somolekae, BOTSWANA Television.
Re sa le fo Dr. Masisi o letsa mogetse baemedi ba bašwa ba mafatshe a United Kingdom e bong Re Gilles Antignep le wa China Re Fan Yong ba ba simolotseng tiro ya bone mo Botswana. Dr. Masisi o supile fa lefatshe leno le tlotlomatsa maitlamo a go nonotsha tomagano le tirisano mmogo le mafatshe ao go atolosa mosepele wa go gogela kwa itsholelong e ikagileng ka maranyane le dikitso. O tshidile o nkabetse ka pego.
Mahatshe a Botswana le China a na le dingwaga di tshwara 50 a kola botsalano le tirisano mmogo mo mehameng ya dikago, botsogo le tsa kgotetso. Lehatshe leno le tatolosa le go heta mosepele wa go thabologa mmogo le la China mo dintheng tse di harologaneng kwa phuthegong ya boherabongwe ya China-Africa Cooperation kwa Beijing kgwedi e tang. Kwa phuthegong eo go sologetseng mahatshe a Afrika a le 53 go akarediwa la Botswana go e tsena.
You'll recall that we've got a partnership with a Chinese company to develop our e-mobility program and ensure that we can transfer knowledge, skills, including intellectual capital. And so we want to drive this up and increase the value that is, accorded to Botswana. In the process, we increase jobs and we contribute to our GDP.
I believe that my presence will bring you the active response for it, and we are also in supporting this cooperation in the future, especially the one that Botswana is also good of these potentials. That we need to explore more potentials to expand our bilateral economic and trade cooperation.
Lehatshe la United Kingdom ke lengwe la mo maemong a kwa godimo kwa kgaolong ya Europa mo tirisong ya maranyane, mme se baya lehatshe leno mo seemo sa go anywa go le gontsi go atolosa mosepele wa lone wa thabologo e ikagileng ka maranyane.
As you might know, from 2021 there was a new agreement with the SACU and the United Kingdom following Brexit. And there are about 14 companies from Botswana that are trading in the United Kingdom. Far too little, given our length of time. Botswana has decided quite strategically to veer off and focus on developing a knowledge-based economy, which is something that you Brits have mastered.
It's my absolute honour to be here to work tirelessly with all the vitality and energy I can bring to deepen those. My government has been really clear that economic growth, mutual economic growth, the issues of climate and nature that global challenges that we all face are absolutely front and centre. And I look forward to deepening our partnership, bringing in the expertise that we can to bear to support you in your missions.
Lehatshe la Botswana le na le diofisi kwa mahatsheng a sele di heta 20 ka le lemoga botlhokwa jwa go dirisana le a mangwe go bata ditharabololo tsa dikgwetlho tse di tshwanang tse di lebaneng mahatshe. O tshidile Onkabetse, Botswana Television, Gaborone.
Bani ba motse wa Ngaungau kwa kgaolong ya Okavango ba rotloetswe go dirisa lenaneo la Arechencheng go tlotlomatsa dingwao tsa bone ba ipele ka tsone ebile ba di bapatse go tlhatlosa itsholelo ya lefatshe ka go lemogilwe fa tšhaba e fetotsa dingwao tsa yone. Letsatsi la ngwao le le neng le tshwerwe kwa motseng wa Ngaungau le ne le bulwa semmuso ke mothusa tona wa banana bong le metshameko le ngwao re Buti Bili yo kgothaditseng banni go kabaka bojanala le ngwao go itshetsa. Tiny Tsukudu.
Ngaungau ke motse o nang le merafe e farologaneng jaaka ba herero ba Mbokushu ba le basarwa ka jalo re bile o rotloeditse merafe e go kopana ba dira lefelo la ngwao fa ba ka supang teng ditiro tsa bone tsa ngwao. Go tlhalosiwa fa go dira jalo go ka thama ditiro mo motseng go rekisa le go ruta mafatshe a mangwe ngwao ya bone mme ba tsholetse itsholelo ya lefatshe.
Ba ga tsholwa morahi o ka paketsa ngwao ya bona ya o rekisetsa ba bangwe mme ba kgathagala morago ba dirisa dikitso tsone tseo go ikgodisa mo dikgwebong ba tsongwao o ka e rekisetsa ba bangwe ba hatsi a kata mo kgaolong ya rona ya Ngaungau le kata mo ETSA 6 ba kata mo ETSA 1 go ta go benchmarka go ta go ituta ka tsa ngwao mme sone seo se ka diragala hela sentle ha le gore organized ka ke bole mogang le organized ka teng. Le Claudia di tsangwa me ka ra Claudia di tsangwa o tshwanetse gore o bile o di tsangwa le tshwanetse ba ngwe ba tswa kwa ETSA ba ngwe ba tswa mo Ngaungau ba ngwe ba tswa kae me ka ra ga le tsile yana lo go bona gore ene ngwa yo go tweke ngwa gore wa e
matlotlo a tlholego mmino dijo le tse dingwe tse di fitlhelang fa go tlhalosiwa fa di ka dirisiwa go kabakanya itsholelo ya motseo.
Re batla go bona le tsenelela bana le botsadi mo Ngondimbi le tsenelela le tokahatsa mahura a Ngodibi le kgona go gora mo seemo sa go dira factory ya Ngodibi e mo go yone go ka berekang bana ba dikgaolo tsa rona ba hirwa ke lekalana kgotsa ke komponi ya Ngodibi re tshela ka yone gorosa dikakanyo tsa NAKO.
Re ka ngwao le pinagare ya morafe go supafala fa go le botlhokwa gore morafe mongwe le mongwe o ipele le go tlhabolola ngwao ya bone go nna le seriti. Thaini Tshukudu, BTV News, Ngau.
Mofenyi wa kgaisano ya Mrs. Botswana mme wa Mpata Leroy Mosipidi a re maikaelelo a gagwe ke go rotloetsa tshwaragano le tirisano mmogo mo malapeng segolobogolo a nang le bana ba ba amilweng ke kgokontsho ya bong. Mrs. Botswana o buile se ko kamogelong ya gagwe ke mmatoropo wa Jwaneng mme Olga Ditsie jaaka a tsamaya le lefatshe leno. Thato Ranna ka dintlha.
Mme wa Mpata Mosipidi e leng mofenyi wa Mrs. Botswana o tlhalositswe a na le talente mo dilong di le mmalwa e bile a le pelokgale. O thusitse mo tlhabololong ya dilo di tshwana le metshameko ga mmogo le dithuto le ka tsa tiro mo baneng ba dikolo tsa toropo ya Jwaneng. Mme Mosipidi o ipeile ditiro le dingwe di le mmalwa pele tse a di simolodisitseng ka fa tlase ga lekalana la gagwe la Letsibogo Foundation ka maikaelelo a go rutuntsha le go godisa bagwebi ba banana le go ba tlhatlhalla mo dithutong tse di ka ba katisetsang go nna baeteledipele ba lefatshe leno ba motia ba kamoso.
Serodumo sa dinaga Botswana sa gola. Ke dumela re is because of the enabling environment that this government of the day is offering us. How bona di atleta tsa rona di lakasela is through the leadership e re na le yone, the enabling environment. And now here today we are here le Mpata wa South Korea. Re bata gore toroneo khato koroneo e temo Botswana.
For the past couple of months I've been running Letsibogo and we have done, I would say, quite big things, especially.
Re setse re fentsetse dikgolo ka lenaneo la mela Letsibogo. Segolo bogolo ke lebile gore tsotlhe tse re di dirang re di dira re ntsha mo pateng ya lelapa la me le monna wa me. Re setse re kgonne go busetsa bana ba le supa sekolong gore ba ye go kwala lekwalo la Form 5 gape.
We have been able to take 7 children back to school this year. All of them had previously failed their Form 5s due to unique circumstances around gender-based violence.
Batsadi ba ga wa Mpata ba supile fa ba le motlotlo ka ngwana wa bone mme ba rotloetsa Batswana go moya manokeng.
Ke kanola sehuba ke re ngwana ke o nyetswe o nyalegile ke mosau ya nong ke re betso ke a itumela go bolo dirile tiro e ntseng jana. Letsibogo project ke ya gagwe a re nne le ene mo go yone
ke o ngwana a lona ke ngwetsi ya me me ga se ya me ke le nosi ke ngwetsi ya lona botsadi ke o ra le monela mo supporteng.
One person who's very headstrong when I believe in something.
Fa ke batla sengwe ke lwa ka tsotlhe tsa me gore ke se fitlhelele.
Because my eyes are always on the prize.
Mme wa Mpata Mosipidi o ipaakanyetsa go emela lefatshe la Botswana ko dikgaisanong tsa Mrs. Universe tse di tlang mo dikgweding tse 2 di tla tshwarelwa kwa lefatsheng la South Korea. Thato Ranna, BTV News, Jwaneng.
Ntlhopheng wa Party ya Botswana Congress Party BCP wa Boparlamente jwa kgaolo ya Tsopong South Dr. Kisitegile go Botswang o kailwe ke moeteledipele wa party eo re dumela Saleshando e le moeteledipele yo na leng tebelo pele mme ya ka tokafatsa matshelo a Batswana. Re Saleshando o buile se a rolela batlhophi ba kgaolo eo Dr. go Botswang semmuso kwa motseng wa Sefare Mamusi Siska Kapego.
E re jaaka ditlhopho tsa setšhaba di atamela diphathi tsotlhe tsa sepolotiki mo lefatsheng leno di tsweletse ka go rola semmuso bontlhopheng ba mapalamente le khansele. Mafelo a beke eno phathi ya BCP e rotse bontlhopheng ba yone ba kgaolo ya Tsopong South. Dr. go Botswang yo itsegeng ka go buelela ditsamaiso tse di lolameng o roletswe semmuso balatedi ba phathi eo e leng tlhopheng wa bopalamente.
He's composed o etse dibete but also firm. Me gape wa gagamatsa mo tsamaiso. He is a diplomat. O kgona go ba mahoko sente. Me gape gampampetse wa tlhamalatsa. Ene motho wa mohuta oneo. Soft but a disciplinarian. ba ha rena emang ka dinao mo parlamente su.
Phati ya BCP e ka ile fa e tshwanetse ya tlhophiwa go busa ka ba pele le tlhoko la ditiro la banana le itshulelo ya setšhaba.
Ha re bua ka sethopo sa rona sa dithopo tsa 2024. Re go botswang o tlhomamisitse gore re tshwanetse go aga Botswana yo berekela mongwe le mongwe ka gore we are in this together.
Mongwe le mongwe yo sa berekeng mo sefaremo a itse gore Botswana Congress Party e na le lenaneo ya re unemployment benefit ya re ga o sa bereke wa go neelwa 600 pula. Bua le monana ka wena gore ra go thopa ngaka go botswang le makhanselara a gagwe.
E re ka jaanong ipapatso e buletswe semmuso ntlhopheng wa bopalamente o ikaelela go atametsa banni ba kgaolo ya Tsopong South ditlamelo.
Re bata diofisi tse di tletseng tsa khansele le molaodi mo Tsopong Borwa le nkuta sentle ka re Tsopong Borwa ka gore ke rona ba re tshwereng ditlamelo tse di ka tshegetsang full council, full district.
Dr. Gobotswang ke ene mo palamente wa kgaolo ya Safarera Mokgonami a e gapileng ka ngwaga wa 2019 e ne le lantlha kgaolo eo e tswa mo diatleng tsa party e busang ya BDP fa e sale ka nako ya boipuso. Mamusi Siska, BTV News, Sefare.
Mothusa moeteledipele wa party ya Umbrella for Democratic Change UDC re Ndabagaolate o kopile Batswana go ikemela ka dinao ka go tlhopha party ya UDC ka ile yone e tshwereng mananeo a ka tlhabolola matshelo a bone. Re Gaolate o buile seo a kopela mme Phushi Manyeneng le makhanselara a gagwe a roba bobedi tlhopho kwa kgaolong e ntšha ya Mopane Betsi Motlhabe. Jessica Pilane.
Rendaba a re party ya UDC e ikemiseditse go tsibogela seemo sa botsogo se tshwana tlhaelo ya melemo go netefatsa gore ditlamelo tsa botsogo di goroga kwa Batswaneng. Fa rola mme Phushi Manyeneng yo dirileng le mooki Rendaba mo ka ile fa le maleba ka tlile go thusa fela thata mo dikganyeng tsa botsogo.
Me wa nese me yo sutlang batho ba ba sisimosang batho mmele me yo tshwarang batho ba ba tlhobogilweng Meo Phushi Manyeneng le lesego jang ba gaetso a re emeng ka dinao a re lemogeng lesego la rona
le lesego go nne le netse motho yo tshotseng pelo ya go nna bomma boipelego a lebelega. Party ya rona ya Umbrella for Democratic Change ke party e eteleditseng gore bomme basadi ba etelele pele ba bona le ba supagale gore le bone hela jaaka borre ba nonohile go etelela setšhaba pele.
Umbrella for Democratic Change e kana bone gore botsogo ja lehatshe la Botswana ya go bothabolola go menagane ra go emisa dilo tse e leng gore Motswana wa kongakeng ga tsena kwa gate o bukelwa gore a ta bone ngaka morago ga ngwaga tse pedi dilo tse ba gaetso ra le di bolelela ka maikaelelo a gore re emeng ka dinao.
Ba amogela thomo mme Manyeneng o ikanne go emela batho ba kgaolo e ka boammaaruri.
Re kana go tshwaragana le lona le baagi ba Mopane le Metsi Motlhabe re tlabe re berekisanya le lona ka morero re ikana gore re supeng le re rome ka October ka tlhopho ya go supa gore le na le tshepo mo go rona le rona betso re tla ikokobetsa re lo retsa.
Go ya ka maitlamo a party ya UDC e ikaelela go tlhabolola matshelo a batho ka go fetla mebereko e ka tshwara 450,000 go ya go 500,000 mo ngwageng tse tlhano. Ka jalo Batswana ba kopile go tlhopha party ya UDC ka dipalo tse di kwa godimo go sireletsa bokamoso jwa bone. Jessica Pilani, BTV News, Mopane.
Watsopego eo ka Jessica Pilane e re tlisa kwa bokhutlong jwa dikgang tsa rona mo ureng ya gompieno mme Edwin Mashiakgomo o ipakanyeditse go neela tsone tsa metshameko and go ditiragalo ra itse mo go tsone tsa metshameko re tlhaloganya gone gore FNB Premiership e etla di tlhopha di a ipakanya mme re bona segolo bogolo ka re gona le setlhopha se le gore se tswa go morago se ipakanya go feta ditlhopha tse le gore tsone di ntse di le teng mo leaking retso
setlhopha sa motšhidi sa certificate tsa go ke re so se buang ka sone rati ba tsweletse ka ipakanyo ya bone
yone setse ba dirile jalo ikwadiso ya batshameki ba le 17 go fitlha ka jana fa sa le jaaka ba reka status sone seo sa Masitao ka ba tsweletse ka go dira bontle le dikago setse ba dirile di office tse le gore ba berekela ga go tsone ke ipakanyo e le gore e masheta le betsa le gore ba dira ka teng ba organize tournament ka ko Francis Town ka go ile ngtsela ngwe ya go le ka gone go itlhokoletsa paka e ntšha go ile go tlhopatsa Township Pros Traffic ga mo go le NAKO United di solfetse gone gore di go phadisanya teng ka go tlhoka le sego ga ba kgona gore ba tswelele ka yone tournament mme ba supile gone gore ba tla go itshegetsa mo Gaborone be ba ntsha le tsone di tlhopha tse le gore di tla tsenela tournament e ntšha yo fela se gatetse pele setlhopha sa Moshudi Centerships le ipakanyo ya bone ya paka e ntšha
ke tsa gore sone yone thutlotso ya FNB e tisa di team mo go yana gore ba ipakanyela go feta go tle bogole ba yo sebete right
thata
tsala rena le tsantsa mtshameko
tla ke go leboge Motho dumela mogala dikgang tsa metshameko ke Edwin Mashakgomo me tsone tsa re mokamedi wa tsa setegeniki o mosha kwa lekgotleng la Botswana Football Association kaelo a re o tlhaloganya maikarabelo a tiro ya gagwe mme o tla dira ka botswapelo go thusa lekgotla leo le le okametseng kgwele ya dinao mo nogae mo maitlamong a lone a go tlhabola kgwele ya dinao mo lefatsheng leno kaelo o rurifaditse se mo puisanong le lekalana la metshameko la BTV a re utlwe Katlego Kgakole le Pako Setereke.
Mokatisi yo wa pele wa setlhopha sa Gaborone United le Security Systems o ne a tlhalosa fa maitlamo a gagwe a ntlha e le go aga tshepo le tumelo ya gore o ka kgona maikarabelo a beilweng pele ke lekgotla la BFA le go nna le seabe mo letsholong la lekgotla leo la go tlhabolola kgwele ya dinao mo lefatsheng leno.
Regional football or regional development is also a key area that we need to focus our attention.
Go tlhabolola kgwele ya dinao go tswa ko moding kwa dikgaolong ke sengwe se re tshwantseng go se tsaya ka tlhoafalo ka gore batshameki ba ba tshamekelang ditlhopha tsa setšhaba tse di kwa tlase ba bonwa gone koo mme re tshwanetse go itebaganya le dikgaolo tsa BFA go rutuntsha bakatisi ba ba ka berekang le bana ebile ba ba tlhaloganya.
They come from the regional clubs, so the attention should be on regions.
Kaelo o gateletse gape fa kgwele ya dinao ya bomme e tsweletseng ka go gola mo lefatsheng leno e tlhokana le kemonokeng e tseneletseng sengwe sa tlhalositseng fa a batla go se fitlhelela mo ngwageng tse 4 tse tla bong le mogolwane wa tsa botegeniki kwa Botswana Football Association.
The strategic goals you have also the women football which is in my lab. Women football, I mean,
maitlamo a mangwe ke go itebaganya le go tlhabolola kgwele ya dinao ya bomme mo nakong eno Gaborone United e dira bontle e ile kwa makgaolakganyeng ebile ka nna iponela phatlha kwa kgaisanong ya CAF ya bomme mme maikaelelo ke go tswelela re rotloetsa kgwele ya dinao ya bomme e ka tlotlomatsang lefatshe leno.
There are areas where we still need to do more to develop the women's sport. So I think that is also a focus that we can do that.
Tsholofelo ke gore mogolwane o mošwa yo wa tsa botegeniki kwa BFA o tla thusa lekgotla leo go tlhabolola kgwele ya dinao mo lefatsheng leno jaaka e le motshameki wa pele ebile a nnile mokatisi mo lekeng ya monogae. Katlego Kgakole, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
Mokwaledi wa lephata la banana bong metshameko le ngwao me Bridget John o go tlhile dialogane tsa dithuto tsa bokatisi tsa CAF A license go dirisa dikitso tse ba di amuleng go tlhabolola seemo sa kgwele ya dinao mo nogae me John o buile se kwa moletlong wa dialogane tseo mo Gaborone ka giso molelekwa o ne a le ko
e re ka seemo le selebego sa kgwele ya dinao se tsweletse ka go gola le go thabologa lefatshe ka bophara dithuto tsona tsa CAF A ke ngwe tse di botlhokwa tse lekgotla le le okametseng kgwele ya dinao mo kgaolong ya Aforika la CAF le rotloetsa mafatshe go netefatsa gore bakatisi ba na le tsone ka se e le tsela go godisa kgwele ya dinao mo Aforika.
I believe that with knowledge and understanding of the game acquired from this training, our graduates are ready to take football to the next level. I challenge each one of you.
Ke dumela gore ka dikitso tse le di anyoleng go tswe mo ditong tse le mo seemong sa go ribolola batshameki ba tlhwatlhwa mme ke le kgwetha gore le ye go dirisa dikitso tse go thabolola selebego sa kgwele ya dinao mme gape le lebe konte ga lefatshe leno mme ga re ka dira jalo re tla bo re thabolola metshameko mo nogae.
Creating sustainability in the sport industry with all its associated value chains.
These graduates that we are gathered here to celebrate shall henceforth preside over a total transformation of football in Botswana.
Dialoganetse ba tsile go etelela pele thabologo ya kgwele dinao mo Botswana e tantshang maduo a nametsang. Re la baeteledipele pele ba kgwele dinao re tla tswelela ka go netefatsa fa kgwele dinao ya rona e kgatlhisa ebile e ngwe ka babeeletsi.
Conducive for commercial success.
Mo godimo ga mo lekgotla la Botswana Football Association le bone ba bona go le maleba go netefatsa fa ditiro tsa mothale o di nateng mo gae ka di tsamaelana le lenaneo la bone la go thabolola kgwele ya dinao.
Coaching course is about organizing the information that you already have.
Dithuto tsa bokatisi di thusa go netefatsa fa bakatisi ba dikitso tse di maleba ka gore bone ba se ba kile ba tshameka kgwele ya dinao. Le sa tswa go naya dithuto tse di rutang go dira dilo ka tshwanelo ka gore le ntse di dira fela ka go tlhoka kitso mme dithuto tse di bankanya seo.
Information to practice certain things in certain ways.
It is a pleasure moment to recall the demanding times we spent together in journeying. Truly none of us will
not itumedisa fa re gopola dinako tse di thata tse re ne ra di rarala ka nako ya ditiro tse mme ka gore ne re batla go atega re kgonne so ebile re tshwanetse go itumelela se.
Into great use of in order to achieve what marks this graduate event.
Dithuto tse tsa CAF-A tse e lengwe tse dikgolo mo lekgotleng la CAF di simolotse ngwaga o fetileng mme e le lekgetho la bobedi BF ba di tshegetsang mono gae. Bakatisi ba feta 20 go tswa mo mafatsheng a Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Eswatini le Afrika Borwa ba ne ba loga mo dithutong tse. Kagiso Molele kwa PTV Sport Gaborone.
Moanamisa mafoko wa setlhopha sa Mochudi Center Chiefs Boraro Moseki a re morago ga go iphuta metlhala setlhopha seo se boetse kwa liking e kgolwane go busetsa serite sa sone. Setlhopha seo sa magosi sentse se le kwa liking ya South ya First Division ya ka kwano Borwa morago ga go fologa ka paka ya 2018-2019 mme jaanong se rekile maemo kgotsa status sa setlhopha sa Masitauka gore se phadisanye kwa liking ya FNB Premiership mo pakeng ya 2024-2025 go motso sefako o tshwere sefako sa dintlha.
Fa e sale ba fologela kwa liki ya First Division ya Borwa banna ba ba kgateng ba ntse ba aparetswe ke dikgang tsa dikoloto le go thoka go iketa mme jaanong morago ga phuthego ya bona ngwaga le ngwaga go supega fa tsotlhe di boetse meriting go tswelela pele.
And in our annual general meeting re ne ra tsaya tshwetso ya gore now we are ready to compete mo Premier League, and with that we approached several teams including Chadibe FC, VTM, but unfortunately for us ga ra ka ra khona go dumalana ka tse pedi tse tharo tse neng re di bana pele, but the good side is re ne ra approach ba Masitauka ra dumalana ka status sa bone gore re se reke, and I can confirm to you that ya ka rekile status gore a gore re tla be re tshameka mo Premier League.
Go boela mo liki ya kgolwane ga sethopa seo sa Chiefs go solofetse go se thusa go tsweledisa kgolo ya sone jaaka dingwe tsa dithopa tse dikgolo tsa lefatshe leno jaaka se se gapile liki ya Botswana Premier makgetho a le mane ga mmogo le dijana tse dingwe tsa dikgaisano ka go farologana di le 11 fa sa le ka ngwaga wa 2008.
Ana go fologa ga rona ha o ka gakologelwa morena Mochudi Center Chiefs ne re na le some internal issues tse le gore we had to solve them. The key most issue e le yone ya privatization of the team, so yena hela nkete ya re lotlhanyanyana, but the most important thing se re ne ra bona go le botlhokwa gore yana we are ready to compete e ne le gore yana we are seeing the waters settling ka khanya teng, so go ga teng hela go tla re ha le dula e bile go ka re thusa le gone gore re compete enough. A o ka lebella Mochudi Center Chiefs mongame it's a sellable product. So we have a business partner oileng gore soon re tla be re mo ribolla. We are just waiting for the special day gore re khone gore re mo ribolle ka tsela e tla beng re tlhophile le ntle.
Go tlhomamisa fa ba itsetela mo liki ya FNB Premiership dipaakanyo tse di masheta di tsweletse go netefatsa fa ba sa boele ko First Division.
This past weekend, Saturday, an international friendly. Our boys performed exceptionally well. We managed to beat Mbabane Highlanders 1-0. Basimane neba express and BOSUPA tota they are ready for the Premier League. We have signed several players. It's quality. Most of the players signing. They've been playing in the Premier League. So with that, we build the experience. We are underdogs. We compete.
BOSUPA Chiefs e simolola paka 2024-2025 ka go mekamekana le sethopa sa Phalape sa Morupule Wanderers kgwedi e tang e le 21 kwa lebaleng la Phalape. Kgomotso Sefako, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
Go tsweledisa dipaakanyo tseo tsa Mochudi Center Chiefs ba ne ba rulagantse jalo tournament tota e le gore ne tla be e tshwaretse gone ka go Francistown Obed Itani Chulumbe Stadium mme ba supa jalo gone gore ba itlosolositse ka mafelo a beke mme ba tlantsha jalo gone lefelo ga mogo jalo le gone gore tla be e tshwaretswe kae leng ka itse ga go tlhopha tsene tshwantse di tse karolo ka go ene le tlhopha tsa Township Rovers Traffic ga mogo jalo le setlhopha sa NAKO United bana le setlhopha sa sone sa Mochudi Center Chiefs ba supa jalo gone gore ba tlantsha jalo maina a ditlhopha tse le gore ba tla go tsa karolo mo go yone khaisano eo e le gore ba rulagantse jalo gone gore jaanong ba itise mo Gaborone motho ka bodia lotsa nako e re di ba khutlo go ne fa tse dingwe tse di latelang ke tsa khante jana ka nako ya boropa bobedi a re go bona tsa tepolwapi.
re soletse re go tswelle go apogile mo dikgaolong tsa lefatshe leno tsotlhe mmaphakeleng gone go ikutlwatsa go le tsididi go dikgaolong tsa Kgalagadi Borwa le Bokone Botlhaba ka selekanyo sa botlhano ko Veda go yeng go go BOSUPA ko Jwaneng mafelo a mangwe a lefatshe leno gone re soletse re go ikutlwatse go le mololo wa selekanyo sa bohera bongwe ko Maung le ko Selebe Phikwe go yeng ko 13 ko Qade le Mahalape mo tshokologong gone re soletse re dikgaolo tsa lefatshe leno tsotlhe go ikutlwatse go le mogote wa selekanyo sa 30 le motso ko Olifants Drift go yeng ko 30 le bone ko Kasane ha re lebelela mello a naga e sha mo nakong ya gompieno e bonala mo mafelong mangwe a dikgaolo tsa Nhabe Ganzi Borwa le ko Kweneng mo go la ka moso bo diphatsa jwa gore melelo e shang e tswe mo taolong bo go godimo thata mo mafelong a ko borwa jwa lefatshe leno jalo he setšhaba se rotloediwa go tshwara molelo ka kelotlhoko mme fa re tswalla ka seemo sa loapi sa la boraro le la bone solotse dikgaolo tsa borwa botlhaba kgatleng le Kweneng go bo go apogile mme re mo tshokologong go ikutlwatse go le mogote ka letsatsi la boraro fa letsatsi la bone gone re solotse re go ikutlwatse go le bothitho ko Ganzi le Kgalagadi re solotse re go bo go apogile ko Ganzi fa ko Kgalagadi gone re solotse re go bona le dibata tsa maru mo tshokologong go ikutlwatsa go le bothitho ko kgaolong ya Ganzi fa kgaolo ya Kgalagadi gone re solotse re go ikutlwatse go le mololo ko Chobe le Nhabe gone re solotse re go bo go apogile mme re mo tshokologong go ikutlwatse go le mogote ko Legare le Bokone Botlhaba re solotse re ka letsatsi la boraro go bo go apogile mme ka letsatsi la bone gone go bo go bonala dibata tsa maru mo mafelong ka bontsi mme mo tshokologong gone go ikutlwatsa go le mogote ka letsatsi la boraro fa letsatsi la bone gone re solotse re go ikutlwatse go le bothitho mo mafelong ka bontsi a dikgaolo tseo.
The simultaneous groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of 28 police stations in 28 villages. The said villages are Sibina, Makaleng, Marapong, Dunukwe, Ward Koseroe, Mosolotani, Suping, Mohokotwani, Pomolepolole, Moditsani, Mopani, Mankodi, Mitlobo, Pitsani Molopo, Dirawana, Moshupa, Tamara, Otse, Eretsa, Dobe, Lerala, Mokan, Madinari, Chobukwani, West Hanhai, Hukunzi, Matseloje, Musija Ward, Komuchudi, Atisia, and Kawa. Elemiti 28, Irwangwakriwa, the 28 police stations. I'm informed that each facility will consist of a single-story office block housing 9 offices, 7 staff houses, 2 vehicles, office furniture, ICT equipment, and several support services. The commencement of this building project is a historic event indeed. Firstly, because it is the largest increase ever in the police stations, from 83 stations built progressively over a period of over 100 years to a cumulative total of 111 stations in just a space of 1 year, which is a 34% increase. As part of the global village, Botswana subscribes to both regional and international organizations, treaties, and protocols that seek to promote global security, peace, stability, and sustainable development. In particular, Botswana subscribes to a number of protocols of the United Nations, the International Criminal Police Organizations, the African Union Commission, and the Southern Africa Development Community. In this regard, we are proud to lead a country that prioritizes public safety and security, peace, stability, development, economic transformation, protection of human rights, and observation of the rule of law in pursuit of justice for all. Surely, effective policing, including visibility of police officers doing patrols in communities and on the roads, goes together with providing them with decent workstations from where their operations can be managed and swiftly coordinated to forestall and combat the commission of crimes or to offer other emergency support to the public. In turn, the availability of decent facilities, vehicles, tools, and gadgets of trade for police work boosts the morale of the police officers and enhances their operational efficiencies, just as it is the case with any workers in other sectors of the economy. We do not, therefore, take lightly the extent of public confidence evoked by knowing and seeing a police station in one's community or neighborhood. Furthermore, partnerships between the police and members of the public bring about more secure and safer communities, as is witnessed by the presence of our advocacy here, who are representing their communities.
You're still on the Daybreak. Thank you for staying with us. Now, the Bank of Botswana has recently reduced interest rates by 25 basis points to 1.9% despite rising inflation. It is the third consecutive rate cut in a year. Now, the other cuts were in December 2023 and June 2024. By reducing this interest rate, the bank hopes to boost Botswana's economy by encouraging lending. To understand more of what this means for Botswana, we have in studio business editor Rebane Udirile. It's always a pleasure having you with us. Good morning.
Good morning too. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Absolutely. After the announcement was made, there was a lot of analysis that went on social media, and I think there were also misinterpretations of what could this really mean. There were some Botswana that were actually attributing this to a looming crash landing, if you will. If you were to break it down to us, to a layman's understanding, what would you say this reduction really means?
Well, I mean, there's the the universally accepted understanding of the reduction of the cost for money, the cost of money, which is the interest rates, is simply to get the economy back into a better production level. That's basically the universal understanding, is that it happens, the reduction of the cost of money is done to make businesses and households to access funds or money at a reduced cost. And then this money then goes into production. At business level, it's called production money, because they get money and then they spend money to produce more goods. So that's basically the reason and the expectation. The expectation is that households will go get the money and then spend, and businesses will go get the money, increase production. And then when households go into the market for consumption now, to buy these goods, they don't run short of goods. Because if they run short of goods, it means that the sellers would increase the price because they would be unable to meet the demand. And therefore, to compensate, or to rather put themselves in a good position, then you have to increase the price. So for now, the understanding is that this is going to cost the businesses to increase production. Yeah.
Okay. There's also another notion that this means that you know, it's to actually promote lending, if you will, from the banks. So it seems the banks will actually charge you a lower interest on your loan, and then in terms of your savings, the bank then charges less interest, or the bank then gives you less interest in your savings. Are we promoting saving or lending more?
Well, actually, the most important thing for an economy, both saving is important, and lending is important. Remember, even with banks, when cost for money goes down or goes up, it affects them. And that, remember, banks will be happy to keep money, or rather, it's safe for them to keep money at the central bank because they earn interest also. Because they're keeping money there, and they know that they'll get it, compared to when they lend it to me and you, and the risk is always there for them to lose that money. So it is not only about us consumers and businesses, even for banks it works, but it also works for the reduction of cost for money or interest rates. Also affects the government bonds, treasury bills, BOBC certificates. These are instruments that government uses to generate money for itself. So back to your question, the savings part is that, unfortunately, when the prices go down, it will also affect those who save, because the bank cannot be expected to have the burden of that. So it also has to affect you as a saver. But remember, the most important thing is production. Money has to get into productive hands. And when it gets into productive hands, it helps produce more goods. And when more goods have been produced, within a short time, here's how it works. Money has to be got by a business, increase production in the factory, take the goods to the market, consumers get the goods, you produce more. So you keep producing more for the market, because the market needs that. When interest rates are low, it means that a lot of people will have money, and therefore they can buy. So their purchasing capabilities is in good position for them to reward producers, which is the business community.
And from the analysis that we saw on social media, we understand that the Bank of Botswana is actually operating now below capacity. What does this mean, for the bank as the central bank of the country, as well as the economy holistically?
Well, here's the thing. The central bank has that instrument of monetary policy. It's the instrument they use to fight inflation. But to the rest of us, to the business community, what is at our disposal is our capability to produce within a short time. Because when you take more to produce the same certain goods, it takes too long, it means that it's going to cost you more as a business person. Cost you more because sometimes you have to pay even over time. But if you have a high-performing team, you can produce more within a short time and serve to the market. And because you're producing more at a short time, it means that you can eventually reward your employees with improved salaries.
Right.
But when the same employees are producing far less at the given time, it means that it's costing you more, because some of them, you've got to pay for them and pay even over time in order for them to deliver to the market. So it's a cost to you.
Right.
So the aspect of fighting inflation, what I'm trying to point out here is that the aspect of fighting inflation is not only within the instrument called monetary policy. It is also within the working class.
And I'm glad you brought that aspect of the monetary policy, because it's also taking me to my next question, which says, but what then for the central bank to come to a decision like this of a reduction of this magnitude, what informs this decision? How do they come to reaching the decision of this reduction?
Well, so towards the week that, in the same week that the bank announced this reduction.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a story in our bulletin at the radio where we were trying to anticipate what is likely to be the decision by the bank. We didn't point out that there's going to be a reduction, but what we did was to point out the factors on the ground. That, for example, what we emphasized was that there hasn't been any increment in the administered prices. Administered prices here refers to government controlled prices, which is also most of the time when the central bank takes a decision, or the monetary policy committee makes a decision, they also have their eye on that. So what happened this time is that the central bank is forced to do that because, as you know, the economy is not a good position right now.
Yeah.
It is not performing well. So assume the interest rates were raised, it would even become more difficult for people to be able to buy goods, and that would be a loss to a business community. So as I said, unfortunately for us as a Botswana, we are not in a fully industrialized country. But these things work much, when I say things, I mean the interest rates. They work far more in times of, or rather in countries that are highly industrialized. Because you can even, it's also, most of the time, they even gauge the impact that the reduction or the increase of interest rates have had in the economy, on the industrial side of the economy. Right. Because, but in our countries, it's a conventional thing. We basically operate on conventional wisdom, that it is conventional that when the rates go down, there should be production. But it will be interesting to find out 4 months down the line whether this has impacted our production capabilities within the workplace. Here's the thing about us. We don't have, or rather we should be looking into industries that are, or which are, you could say, employ more people, produce goods for exports. And those would be easy to measure whether the interest rates are affecting them or not. The luxurious goods at the moment are not making it, and our export is luxurious good called diamonds. So at the moment they're not doing well. It's not only in Botswana, I mean throughout the world, the economy in China and in US are not doing well. But they do expect, they've said it, they do expect a soft landing in the US, which gives us hope that maybe there will be a rebound of prices of diamonds. But at the moment, what do? We should be focusing on, I think, what we call those industries or those economic sectors that are going to reward the economy with better profits or better profit margins.
What does it take? What will it take for us to actually get to that industrialization level? Because, you know, every now and then you find that the hindrance, you know, for our economy to actually perform far better than it is performing right now is the lack of industrialization. We're seeing an eruption of, you know, shopping centers at every corner. But then you wonder, how then is that going to work out when we don't have industrialized, we don't have, our economy is not industrialized, we don't have industries in Botswana. What will it take for us to actually get to that point? point?
I think that is the question that is being grappled with in Francistown right now at the NBC.
Yeah.
That comes every 2 years. Sure. That is the critical question. Some talk about economic reforms. Some talk about sheer efficiency improvement at the workplace. Some are talking about outside the NBC, of course. Some have always been talking about the quality of private investors or investors that we lure in Botswana. That we have not reached a level where we are bringing, attracting what you call high value investors. Not just high value, but ethical investors. Sure. These are investors who would not be coming here for government tenders, but investors who are coming in here to see opportunities and explore them. So if we were to give examples of opportunities that have come up or surfaced in Botswana and nobody has taken them, it's one that I always give is in the agriculture. Although, as they say in this NBC ongoing, even if you point out agriculture, some will still say the reforms have to be done in the agriculture sector to help farmers with better availability of water, which of course will include digging boreholes across the country for those who can take up that opportunity. But me and you know that the government has banned the importation of vegetables. But do we see a lot of private investors coming up and taking the space? I don't think we're seeing that. So this is why we've got to keep emphasizing that, or believe those who say we're not yet at the point of attracting top value investors. Otherwise, we would have had those who use their own money and not wait for government money to improve or even create new industries for Botswana.
And we did mention that this is actually the second reduction to happen this year. What would you say, influenced this, and is it a good thing that we see a second reduction in the same year, and how quickly can we expect that it will, reduce again?
So the next monetary committee meeting would be in October. And they will make a decision again whether they are going to reduce or they are now leaving it as it is, or they are adjusting it upwards. Your question, it's a very difficult one. The bottom line is that the desire here, everything that is being done here by interest rates, by making money cheap at the moment, is to put that money in the pockets of business people, improve access of money to households. And as I said, it may look like we're going in circle, but the bottom line is that the idea is to get the economy up and running. And how do you get the economy to improve the performance of the economy is to get factories to produce more. And if factories produce more, you are assuring workers that they can still count on their job that they have. So once employees start realizing that production levels are going down, obviously pessimism creeps in now, and we don't want to start thinking what will happen when workers lose morale at work.
And after this announcement, you keep on seeing the lack of knowledge that we have as Botswana about these very important issues that affect our daily lives. I wonder again, and I know you and I have had this conversation of lack of knowledge when it comes to financial issues and conversations, and what needs to be done in that space to ensure that in as much as there's jargons around these financial terms and these financial announcements and all these things, it's important that Botswana know what this really means for them and how they can actually cushion themselves even from the looming inflation that's being spoken about. What can be done apart from the usual conversation of we need more financial financial literacy. We need to educate Botswana more in terms of finances. What can be done else that would actually see Botswana, being more knowledgeable about these issues?
I think the easy way at the moment is to just say that do what we are doing right now is for media to provide a lot of information broken down to the bare minimum for everybody else to understand. That's number one. But going forward, the long term, it has to, maybe we have to start getting people to start, accepting or adopting financial literacy from the early age, school ages. I mean, once people start valuing money, the interest towards knowing more about how to handle money and how to make money work for you would put us in the desired position that you are talking about, where everybody else can even participate in the conversation about money and even about ways of making money for a country. People would know that money, government money, comes from the pocket of workers and companies. That's the only two sources for money for government.
Absolutely. And it's always insightful having you here joining us and talking to us about these very important issues. Thank you so much once again for your time and have a great day.
Pleasure's mine.
Absolutely. Well, this is where we leave it for this morning. We're in conversation with business editor Rebane Odirile, talking about the recent announcement of the reduced interest rates by the central bank by 25 basis points, and of course what it means for you, what it means for the economy. I'm sure you got a thing or two from that their conversation. Stay with us, as coming up at the top of the hour we have the news.
Ke rile ha ke bopa mogopolo o ha ke o simolla ngwaga tse pedi tse di hitileng ke ne ke tshwentswe ke matshwenyego a itshireletso le go tshela ga rona mo lehatsheng le la Botswana mme ka akanya ra nna hatshe ka lebelela gore go ka dirwa jang gore re tle ka mogopolo o e leng gore o ka kgona go ritibatsa seemo se ne re bona se re tlhagela mo lehatsheng le la Botswana mme ka nne re ise re kope madi ko lephateng la madi ana sabelo mo ngwageng o wa madi ra buisanya gore gongwe re ka bona gore re dire a 10 key procurement model e leng gore ka re ha re setse re heditse go buisanya le borra kontraka ba neng ba neelwa tiro kapo ba go tenki di developera ba kgona gore tiro e ba e dire mo nakong e sa hediseng pelo mo kgweding di le 15 mme e be le gore re simolla go ba duela morago ga go ba getso project ne ra e bopa re le ko ministering ya hella re dumalana le bona ba se podisi gore tla ga di police station di le 28 le hatshele la Botswana mme ka dikgakolo tsa bona ba se podisi ba lebeletse ka manontlhotlho gore ba bona ha kae ha burukutli bo leng teng ne ra dumela gore mo di police station ntse re tshwantse gore police station nngwe le nngwe nne le mo go teng ke guard house mme bile be nne le matlo a boroko a e leng gore mapodisi a tla nna mo gone a le bosupa mme ra dumalana gore go nne le sengwe se e leng gore mapodisi ba se tlhoka mo tirong ya bone ya letsatsi le letsatsi go bona gore go nna le tshireletsego ra dira gore go nne le dikoloi mo developmenting ye go nne le mo go teng solar powering system mme bile di police station tse di tedina le furniture le matlo a boroko a na le furniture e re hala hara nelwa e be le gore a ka simodulisa go dirisiwa gone hela go.
This is us. We like to walk, talk, and dance until the earth shakes. We like to play. After all, our backyard is 75,000 square kilometers of pristine wilderness. At night, we celebrate under the blanket of the stars. And when day rewards night with a beautiful sunrise, we are welcoming Dumela. So come and fall in love with Botswana. Our pride, your destination. This is us. We like to walk, talk, and dance until the earth shakes. We like to play. After all, our backyard is 75,000 square kilometers of pristine wilderness. At night, we celebrate under the blanket of the stars. And when day rewards night with a beautiful sunrise, we are welcoming Dumela. So come and fall in love with Botswana. Our pride, your destination.
And in stories making headlines this morning, the A3 road, a critical trade facilitation route which plays an important role in Botswana's economy. Botswana encouraged to use Arachencheng initiative to promote culture and market traditions. And lastly, the newly appointed Botswana Football Association Technical Director promises his best to football development in the country. Good morning and thank you for joining us. This is BTV News and I'm Oratile Kefitlile. Translating in sign language is Amantle Babili. Starting with the first story, the A3 road is considered a critical trade facilitation route which plays an important role in helping the country address challenges of economic uncertainties. The President, Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi, said this during the groundbreaking ceremony of the A3 road in Matangwani yesterday. He says the construction of the road is a testament to the government's commitment to catapulting economic activities and boosting economic development. Kileteletso Somolekai has more.
This marks a moment of hope for both the residents and international users of this road, which has of recent become a major concern due to number of accidents registered on it. The long-awaited reconstruction is anticipated to bring many economic benefits as the road is a major trade hub.
This groundbreaking ceremony of the promised infrastructure projects presents a sign of commitment and resolve by my government to develop this country into a hub for the sustainable delivery of goods, services, and technological advancements. Such will result in a surge in employment opportunities across sectors during execution, the enhancement of transport connectivity in the region, and therefore the facilitation of smoother trade in goods and service across borders. We are here to kickstart construction activities for a major road project, a regional project, an international corridor that not only carry goods and services from our neighboring countries or neighbor to our neighbors, or DRC. It carries goods and services from across the globe.
Residents could not be happier. The transformative blueprint applied through the development manager model is hoped to help deliver the project on time and within budget.
Trial ya gore go tsewe bo 24 months, 36 months, bone ba tshotse 6 months go read survey this road. Maybe le ha ba go dira bo tla tlhalosa 200 kilometers yo. Di kontraka tsa Batswana ngwe le ngwe ya go you are 50 50 50 50 ya bo helo e be le itebaganya le marogo hela go gore ka bokhutshwana tsela e ra go delivera mo nakong e khutshwana.
For us to be sure that we don't risk, we have to bring our best experts to make sure that what we are costing is close to accurate as possible. Otherwise, we will be in trouble because government will not entertain any variations.
Members of the public residing along the 200 kilometers A3 road have been implored to leverage on opportunities presented by the construction of this road. Ke letleletswe Somolekae, PTV News.
Still on Monday, the President, Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi, received credentials from new envoys to Botswana, being the British High Commissioner to Botswana, Mr. Gilles Entignep, and Chinese Ambassador to Botswana, Mr. Fan Yong. Therein, the President highlighted the priority of fostering mutually beneficial and strategic economic partnerships with the United Kingdom and China in areas which drive her quest for a digital and knowledge-based economy. Utsidile Nkabetse compiled the following report.
Botswana-China relations, which date back some 5 decades, have seen an array of mutually beneficial partnerships cutting across development value chains in infrastructure, health and energy, among others. Opportunities to explore these relations further and chart a prosperous future lie ahead this September for Botswana and 52 other African countries at the 9th Forum on China-Africa Cooperation in Beijing.
You'll recall that we've got a partnership with a Chinese company to develop our e-mobility program and ensure that we can transfer knowledge, skills, including intellectual capital. And so we want to drive this up and increase the value that is, accorded to Botswana. In the process, so we increase jobs and we contribute to our GDP.
I believe that my presence will bring you the active response for it. And we are also in supporting this cooperation in the future, especially the one that Botswana is also good of these potentials, that we need to explore more potentials to expand our bilateral economic and trade cooperation.
Ranked the technology capital of Europe, the UK makes for a strategic partner with Botswana towards her digital economy aspirations.
As you might know, from 2021 there was a new agreement with the SACU and the United Kingdom following Brexit. And there are about 14 companies from Botswana that are trading in the United Kingdom. Far too little, given our length of time. Botswana has decided quite strategically to veer off and focus on developing a knowledge-based economy, which is something that you Brits have mastered.
It's my absolute honour to be here to work tirelessly with all the vitality and energy I can bring to deepen those. My government has been really clear that economic growth, mutual economic growth, the issues of climate and nature that global challenges that we all face are absolutely front and centre, and I look forward to deepening our partnership, bringing in the expertise that we can to bear to support you in your missions.
With over 20 missions abroad and guided by her foreign policy framework, Botswana is alive to the value of multilateral partnerships in providing shared global solutions to global challenges. Utsidile Nkabetse, BTV News, Gaborone.
From the Okavango district, residents of Ngao village have been encouraged to use the Aracheng initiative to promote their culture and also market their traditions. The Assistant Minister of Youth, Gender, Sport and Culture, Mr. Butibili, urged the residents to incorporate culture and tourism to diversify local economy when officiating at the Culture Day in Ngao village. According to, actually, Tiny Sukuru has more.
Ngao village comprises of different ethnic groups, among them the Baherero, Hambokushuwaye and Basara. These tribes were encouraged to collaborate and build cultural villages where they can collectively display their traditional arts, as this can create employment opportunities for the locals, market and share information about the values and cultural activities in this area. The locals can package their cultures in a creative and attractive way to sell to other countries. Tourists can come to Ngao or Eta 6 to learn about our cultures, but this can only happen if we are organized and work as a team. We are here to celebrate culture. People should be free to showcase their talent through dancing. We are from different places and we are here to witness what we mean by culture. Any heritage sites, food and traditional dances found within this area has been described as very pivotal in diversifying the local economy. We want to see youth and the community get involved in the promotion of your local cultural oil to promote it, to an extent of having a Gondibi factory in which youth from our region can be employed in this factory. It is said that as culture is dynamic, it is now evident that most tribes continue to gear up when transforming their culture to attract both investors and tourists. Taini Tukudu, BTV News, Ngau.
The reigning Mrs. Botswana, Mrs. Wampata Leroy Mosipidi, says her mandate is to spread positivity towards family relationships while focusing on children who have been exposed to gender-based violence. She shared this when the joining mayor, Ms. Olga Ditsie, welcomed her back home to celebrate her achievements. More from Tatoranna.
Mrs. Wampata Mosipidi, who has won Mrs. Botswana, has been described as multi-talented, bold and fearless, and contributed greatly towards the development of sports, debate as well as career development for students in Jwaneng. She is now embarking on a few projects that she has implemented under her newly formed organization called Litsibogo Foundation, aimed at empowering young entrepreneurs to enhance their knowledge on being the future leaders of the country.
It's because of the enabling environment that this government of the day is offering us. How the athletes are on di lakasela is through the leadership, the enabling environment. And now here today we are here in South Korea.
For the past couple of months, I've been running Litsibogo, and we have done, I'd say, quite big things, especially looking at the fact that everything has been self-financed. And I really thank my husband for allowing me to use our resources for impact. So thank you very much for that, Mr. Mosipidi. I really appreciate the sacrifice. We have been able to take 7 children back to school this year, all of whom had previously failed their Form 5s due to unique circumstances around gender-based violence.
Wampata's parents have expressed how proud they are and urged the nation to support her. I'm happy for my child to be the woman that she is and married into the family that she is. I'm happy that you put together this event. Let's support her and her project. Here is our child. She's my daughter-in-law, but she's your daughter-in-law as well. Let's support her.
One person who's very headstrong. When I believe in something, I run with it, and I don't let anyone deter me. I will run you over because my eyes are always on the prize.
Mrs. Wampata Mosipidi is set to represent Botswana at the upcoming Mrs. Universe in the Republic of South Korea in the next 2 months. Tatoranna, BTV News, Jwaneng.
In politics, the Botswana Congress Party BCP parliamentary candidate for Tsopong South, Dr. Kisitegile Kgobotswang, has been described by the party leader, Mr. Dumelang Seleshando, as a visionary leader set to make a significant impact on the lives of Botswana. Dr. Kgobotswang said and his team of councillors were launched over the weekend by Mr. Seleshando in Safari. Mamusi Siska with more.
With the general elections approaching, all political parties in the country are actively launching their candidates. This past weekend, the BCP launched its parliamentary and council candidates. Dr. Kisitegile Kgobotswang, long recognized for his commitment to good governance, was presented to a crowd of supporters and party members as the parliamentary candidate for Tsopong South.
He is composed
and firm in his governance, yet diplomatic when addressing issues, a straightforward individual. This type of person, both gentle and disciplined, is the right candidate. I urge you to vote for him.
soft but a disciplinarian. Baharina, emang karinao mo parlamente su.
The party highlighted its vision for the future of the constituency and nation, focusing on youth unemployment and financial stability. When discussing our 2024 election strategy plan, Dr. BOTSWANA agreed that we should build a country that benefits every citizen.
We are in this together.
Everyone in Safari who is unemployed should know that the BCP has a program that will provide unemployed people with 600 pula. This gives us a reason to encourage other youth to vote for Dr. BOTSWANA and his councillors. As the campaign officially kicks off, the BCP Tsopon South parliamentary candidate is anticipated to prioritize bringing resources to the constituents. We need to establish Tsopon South as a full district, and it is my intention to ensure that this happens because we have the necessary resources for the upgrade.
Full council, full district.
Dr. BOTSWANA is the current MP for the Safari Ramokonami constituency since 2019 when he won it for the first time since independence. The constituency has been a stronghold of the BDP. The constituency has been renamed Tsopon South. Mamusi Siska, BTV News, Safari.
The Umbrella for Democratic Change, UDC Deputy Leader Mr. Ndaba Kgaolate has urged Botswana to stand up for their rights by voting for the UDC, which is the only party that has their interests at heart. Mr. Kgaolate said this at the launch of a UDC parliamentary candidate for Mopane Timoklabe, Ms. Pushi Manyeneng, and 8 council candidates. Jessica Pilane with more.
The Vice President of UDC, Mr. Ndaba, says the Umbrella for Democratic Change remains resolute on the agenda to transform the health sector by ensuring every Motswana has access to quality medical care. When launching Ms. Pushi Manyeneng, Mr. Ndaba described Ms. Pushi as the right candidate for this constituency as she brings a vast experience in the health sector.
Me one nurse, me yo sutlam batu, baba sisimusam.
Ms. Manyeneng is a selfless person who associates with everybody. We should appreciate that we are lucky to be voting for a candidate of Ms. Manyeneng's caliber. You are lucky to have a reliable person like Ms. Manyeneng. The UDC party advocates for gender equality, and this is testament to that. Today we are launching a female candidate to lead the people.
Umbrella for Democratic Change,
UDC party is committed to improving the health sector in this country. We are going to address issues in which a patient has to wait 2 years to see a medical specialist. We are urging you to support us.
Ms. Manyeneng vowed to represent this constituency well through consultation and dedication.
We vow to work closely with residents of this constituency and to consult with them all the time. Please allow us to represent you in Parliament and your issues will be addressed.
According to the UDC's manifesto, they intend to create around 450,000 to 500,000 jobs in 5 years. As such, they appeal to voters to secure their future by voting the UDC to attain state power. Jessica Pilani, BTV News, Mopani.
Well, that report by Jessica Pidani brings us to the end of our news bulletin for this hour. Edwin Mashiakum is on standby to give us the latest in the world of sports. And we also understand that we're going to be waking up in the wee hours of the morning yet again.
Yes.
Because we have our boys will be competing at the World Under-20 Championships in Lima.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's happening there? How's the preparations going? And when exactly can we expect that we'll be participating?
Right. The World Athletics Under-20 Championships will be taking place starting from today and will run until the 31st of August in Lima. As we've already alluded, Botswana has sent very talented athletes to represent the nation. That is in the women's 200 meters, 4x400 meters as a relay, as well as 4x100 meters relay, as well as the men's 400 meters and the 4x400 meters relay. So we are starting today at 25 minutes before 5 o'clock this afternoon, where we will witness the 4x400 meters heats. That is our girls will be in action, where we will see the likes of Ame Bokgo, Pawarona, Tony Sani, Wedu Matiwa, as well as Lefatse Seleka and Justice Oratile to start the action at this World Athletics Under-20 Championships. So this World Athletics Under-20 Championships is where the likes of Little Tebogo, Colin Kibina Tsipi started. So we are looking forward to this talent as well.
It's very exciting to also hear new names.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, let us know what else is happening in the world of sport.
Thank you so much. It has got 19 minutes after 8 Central African time, live from Cape City. Good morning. Thank you so much for staying with us. I am Edwin Mashiakum, and from the sports desk, we start here. The newly appointed Botswana Football Association Technical Director, Mr. Kaelo, says he understands his duties and responsibilities at the association and promised to do his best to assist the association with football development in the country. Kaelo said this in an interview with BTV Sport News. Kateho Kakole and Pako Setereke with more.
The former Gaborone United and Security Systems head coach said his first mandate will be to build belief and gain trust that he is capable of living up to expectations laid before him by the association, as well as play a pivotal role in a quest for football development in the country.
Regional football or regional development is also a key area that we need to focus our attention. We also have, and for us to have national teams, especially the junior teams, we need to focus our attention to the region, because those players who are under 17, under 8, under 20, they don't come from, they come from the regional clubs. So the attention should be on regions.
Kaelo also pointed out that as women football continues to grow in Botswana, it also needs support and assistance, something he noted as part of his 4-year term's mandate as the technical director at Botswana Football Association.
The strategic goals, you have also the women football, which is in my lab. Women football, I think it's everybody's assertion that women football has grown tremendously in Botswana. GU ladies are in the semi-finals, in the finals of the Champions League. It's a good thing, it's a good sign. But there are areas where we still need to do more to develop the women's sport. So I think that is also a focus that we can do that.
Expectations are that the newly appointed BFA technical director will assist the association in developing football in the country, more so that he understands local football challenges as a former player and a coach. Katlaho Kakule, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
Permanent Secretary at Ministry of Youth, Gender, Sport and Culture, Bridget John, has urged KFA licensed graduates to use the knowledge and skills they have gained to develop the standard of local football. John highlighted this at the KFA licensed graduation ceremony held in Gaborone. Kariso Mulelekwa for the following report.
As football continues to change and develop around the world, coach education such as CAF-A license is one of the major coaching licenses which African governing body CAF regards as a tool to grow football in the African region. Hence, associations are urged to implement such educational courses.
I believe that with knowledge and understanding of the game acquired from this training, our graduates are ready to take football to the next level. I challenge each one of you to strive to produce world-class competitive footballers that can help grow the status of our local leagues and ultimately be exported to major leagues in the continent and abroad. If we do this, we are creating sustainability in the sport industry with all its associated value chains.
These graduates that we are gathered here to celebrate shall henceforth preside over a total transformation of football in Botswana that will yield us honors. We shall continue as football to strive to create an attractive and competitive environment conducive for commercial success.
Furthermore, Botswana Football Association found it fit to give coaches a chance to enhance their knowledge through the course as it is in line with the BFA development strategy.
Coaching course is about organizing the information that you already have, because most of you have played football. You have been just given a license to practice properly. You have been doing your things in your own way, but the coaching course has given you information to practice certain things in certain ways.
It is a pleasure moment to recall the demanding times we spent together in journeying. Truly, none of us will not cherish the hard days, hard nights that we were willing to put into great use of in order to achieve what marks this graduate event.
This is the second CAF-A Elite Coaching course hosted by Botswana Football Association. The course started last year with over 20 coaches from various COSAFA region countries such as Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Eswatini and South Africa taking part and graduate with CAF-A license. Kagiso Molelekwa, PTV Sport, Gaborone.
Muchudi Center Chief's Public Relations Officer, Boraro Museki, says after resolving their internal matters, the club has returned to the Premier League. Chiefs were relegated from the Elite League in the 2018-2019 season and have purchased the status of Masitauka and will now compete in the upcoming 2024-25 FNB Premiership season. Komzo Sefako with more.
Since their relegation to the lower division, the cutting outfit had been met by financial challenges, but it appears that the situation has now been resolved.
And in our annual general meeting, now we are ready to compete more Premier League. And with that, we approached several...
We took a decision to compete in the Elite League during our annual general meeting this July, where we agreed to purchase Premier League status. We approached several clubs such as VTM FC and Sharib FC to try to acquire their status, but our efforts were not successful. Fortunately, we managed to have an agreement with Masitauka. We did not swap our status with them. We still have our first division status. That also we have to decide on what to do with it. The return of Chiefs to the top flight league is expected to help them to redeem their pride, as they once had glorious years in local football. The Gauteng-based club had their first major success in 2008 when they won the Botswana Premier League before back-to-back titles in 2011-2012 and 2012-2013. They subsequently won 11 domestic cup competitions between 2008 and 2015.
Muchudi Santa Chiefs in some internal issues we had to solve them. The key most issue
we relegated from the Premier League because we had a lot of internal issues regarding privatization, which also affected the performance of the team. After we settled everything, it was befitting that we were ready to compete in the top flight league. Sunday Chips is a sellable product, which is easy to attract business partnership and investors. I can confirm that we have a new partner who have been assisting us, and we will launch the partnership soon.
So we have a business partner who soon We are just waiting for the special day gore re khone gore re mo ribolle ka tsela e tla beng re tlhophile e le ntle.
The preparation for the FNB Premiership season has already commenced.
This past weekend, Saturday, an international friendly. Our boys performed exceptionally well. We managed to beat.
We are intensifying preparations. We just had an international friendly game where our boys performed to the highest level. We have signed new players who have Premier League experience because we know they are familiar with the level of play and can match other Premier League teams.
Premier League. So with that, we build the experience. We are underdogs. Compete.
Bujurisana Chiefs will kickstart the 2024-2025 FNB Premiership season away to Palape base Morupule Wanderers on the 21st of September at Palape Stadium. Khumzo Sefako, PTV Sport, Gaborone.
And that brings us to the end of our sport news this hour. I'll be back at 8:35 and I'll be conversation with Gaborone United Ladies coach Reza Moneni, who made history with the Gaborone United Ladies football team by making history, making it to the final of the COSAFA Club Championships for the first time. That is in their maiden campaign. That is Gaborone United Ladies Club. So I'll be speaking to coach Reza Moneni. That conversation is coming up at 8:35. Do stick around for that conversation. The weather is up next.
For Tuesday, clear skies are expected over the bulk of the country. And for minimum temperatures, we're expecting some cold temperatures over Kalahari, southern and northeast, ranging between 5 degrees Celsius up to 7 degrees Celsius. Elsewhere, mild temperatures are expected, ranging between 9 degrees Celsius up to 13 degrees Celsius. And for afternoon temperatures, hot temperatures are expected over most areas of the country, ranging between 31 degrees Celsius over Olifants Drift and Zwaneng, up to 34 degrees Celsius over Kasane. Now for active fires. Active fires are visible in some areas over Ngamiland, Ganzi, Southern and Kwenin district. And for tomorrow, the fire danger index shows some extremely dangerous conditions over the southern part of the country, while over the bulk of the country, it's depicting some very dangerous conditions. Therefore, the public is advised to take necessary precautions when handling fire. Now, back to the weather forecast for Wednesday and Thursday. For south and southeast Gauteng and Kwenin, clear skies are expected with hot afternoon temperatures on Wednesday, while on Thursday, we're expecting some warm afternoon temperatures. For Ganzi and Kalahari, we are expecting some clear skies over Ganzi district, while over Kalahari, we are expecting some patches of clouds with warm afternoon temperatures over Ganzi district, while over Kalahari, we are expecting some mild temperatures. For Chobe and Ngamiland, clear skies are expected with hot afternoon temperatures. Lastly, for central and northeast, on Wednesday we're expecting some clear skies, while on Thursday we're expecting some patches of clouds with hot afternoon temperatures on Wednesday, while on Thursday we're expecting some warm afternoon temperatures over most areas.
ke rile ha ke bopa mogopolo o ha ke o simolla ngwaga tse pedi tse di hitileng ke ne ke tshwentswe ke matshwenyego a itshireletso le go tshela ga rona mo lehatsheng le la Botswana mme ka akanya ra nna hatshe ka lebelela gore go ka dirwa jang gore re tle ka mogopolo o e leng gore o ka kgona go ritibatsa seemo se ne re bona se re tlhagela mo lehatsheng le la Botswana mme ka nne re ise re kope madi ko lephateng la madi a na sa beelwa mo ngwageng o wa madi ra buisanya gore gongwe re ka bona gore re dire a 10 key procurement model e leng gore ka re ha re setse re heditse go buisanya le borakonteraka ba neng ba neelwa tiro kapo ba go teng ke di-developera ba kgona gore tiro e ba e dire mo nakong e sa hediseng pelo mo kgweding di le 15 mme e be le gore re simolola go ba duela morago ga go ba getso project e ne ra e bopa re le ko ministering ya hella re dumalana le bone ba sepodisi gore tla ga di police station di le 28 le ha tshele la Botswana mme ka dikgakolo tsa bone ba sepodisi ba lebeletse ka manontlhotlho gore ba bona ha kae ha burukutli bo leng teng ne ra dumela gore mo di police stationeng tse re tshwantse gore police station nngwe le nngwe nne le mo go teng ke guard house mme ebile be nne le matlo a boroko a e leng gore mapodisi a tla nna mo gone a le bosupa mme ra dumalana gore go nne le sengwe le sengwe se e leng gore mapodisi ba se tlhoka mo tirong ya bone ya letsatsi le letsatsi go bona gore go nna le tshireletsego ra dira gore go nne le dikoloi mo developmenting ye go nne le mo go teng solar powering system mme ebile di-police station tse di te di na le furniture le matlo a boroko a na le furniture e re hala hara nelwa e be le gore a ka simodulisa go dirisiwa gone hela go
It is 8:35 Central African Time, live from Cape City. Good morning. Thank you so much for staying with us right here on the Daybreak. I am Edwin Mashakomo, and we move straight into the conversation now. Gaborone United's ladies football team made history by making it to the final of the COSAFA Club Championships for the first time. That is in the maiden campaign, which is also qualifier for the CAF Champions League. They had a good run at the tournament, only to miss an automatic CAF Champions League berth through penalties when they lost to University of Western Cape, that is the UWC, after defeating them 89, that is rather 89 on penalties after the two-side play to a 1-all draw in a pulsating final encounter. UWC will now join Mamelodi Sundowns ladies in the CAF Champions League as representatives of South Africa, where 8 teams will compete in the final phase of the 2024 CAF Women's Champions League. And now let's bring into this conversation the Gaborone United ladies coach, Coach Reza Monene, just to share with us their experience out in Malawi, Blantyre. Coach, the Daybreak.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And let me start by thanking Gaborone United and greeting all Botswana football lovers.
Right. You must be happy, Coach, looking at the fact that you carried a team. Most of the players this COSAFA Club Championship, only one player had a chance to play in the previous occasions or in the previous editions of this COSAFA Club Championships. Let's hear from you. How would you describe the journey out in Malawi?
Thank you, sir. I think I would like to start by thanking Botswana Football Association for making this trip exercise. Remember, from Botswana Football Association or apart from them, and again, United competition for the first time. But from the beginning, I wrote my plan. Then I gave my plan to the management of the club. Since I had the TCB, I gave them the plan to the club championship. I think I will say 90% of the things that I wanted, they managed to deliver them. First of all, it was the preparation before we go to the competition, which I wanted to have 2 international friendly games. So which thing I got them. Remember we played in Mamelodi Sundowns at Pretoria, where the first game we drew 0-0. Then the second game, which was our second stream, then the second stream again, they won 1-0. Our second international game was against the University of Northwest, where we won 10-3. Then we came back home. We prepared with the local sides boys before we left to Malawi. The one thing that I didn't get in LA, the camp for the girls. I wanted the girls to be in camp for 2 weeks before we left to Malawi, but because of some situations, we didn't have the accommodation we requested at Likidi. But apart from that, all the things that I wanted before the competition, they were done.
You made it to the finals yet again with a different team. This time around, you were with Gaborone United, and I'm looking back with the first and second installments where we did it with a double action before going with Gaborone United, and you were able to replicate the same performance that you did with double action, that is in the previous occasion of this particular COSAFA Club Championship, where you also finished in the finals, and that time around you were defeated by the 2-time champions Mamelodi Sundowns. Talk to us about how do you instill this winning mentality into the players? Ke lebeletse gone gore o kgonne go hitlela makgaola kgang ka ditlhopha tse pedi di harologaneng, se sengwe se iphitlhela jalo se ya go makgaola kganyeng, mme ebile le kgetho la ntlha se ya go yone kgaisano ya this COSAFA Club Championships.
I think in a lekgetho la before
as a coach,
a team from Botswana going there. The first team to go there, it was double action. I think by that time the coach was Rekoa. They were knocked out from the group stage. Now I went there for 3 times. The first time I went there, maybe every time I go there, I play. You find that my first game is against the defending champion. So the first time I went there, it was 2022. The first game it was against Sundowns, where we drew 0-0. Then because of the teams were nearly 6, it was 3-3 the deciding. But then the second game we won 3-0. Then Sundowns won the other team by 7 goals. So Sundowns they proceeded to the final because they scored many goals. Because not the number 1, number 1 from the other group. Then number 2, number 2 from the other group. No, number 1 is a number 2. Then that's when I won my first bronze medal to Botswana. It was the first club championship medal to Botswana. The second time it was last year against the double election again. It was my second time going there. Again, the defending champion was Green Buffaloes. My first game there was against Green Buffaloes, which we drew again 1-1. Then we went up to reach the final, which we lost 2-1 to Sundowns. This year again, it was a new team, new players, new management. The only player who was there, it was Raonya Diuntamis. He's the one who know the feeling, the tempo, the intensity of the tournament. But I sat down with the players before I talked to the management what I want. Ke ba bontse botlhokwa ba go ya kwa le gore go tlhokagala eng, but at first it ne ka re ke bua dream hela gore it's a different ball game there. We might be 20 here, we might be 15, we might be beating teams 24 what, but there it's a different ball game. We find that go khona pala ke team e sa irisepela, but failing to convert, because there any chance you get you have to convert. But one thing, like you are saying to me, this winning mentality, it's who I am. I think if you can go back and recall my I've never been a loser, even at development stage. If you check my academy, they've been dominating development football for long, close to 10 years. They've been dominating. If you check my trophy cabinet at my development side, close to 30-something trophies. So I'm a winner. So I came to women football. Total na I women football is already batla coach side. I just came to help double action. We try to so one thing I instill in my team is the fighting mentality. Not giving up the mentality. They should know that training, even my training method, I train them like boys. I don't train them because if I train them train side, they will play Nigeria, they will play Morocco, they will play Tunisia at some stage. So remember how many players at Nigeria play Nigeria? Most of them they play go Mahatse. Yeah. But all in all, I think the past 3 seasons, which I was in women football, I did good. But sometimes you need to be recognized. I think if you check my stats, my achievement in women football, none of the coaches have achieved what I achieved in 3 years in football.
Right. One thing that really impressed me is the cohesion in the team. Just a month ago, Gaborone United claimed the DTCB Women's Championship title for the first time, and this was after you brought in some players from different teams, and how they gelled together. It was very quick, and I've witnessed this. They just ended COSAFA Club Championships, and I would just like to hear from you. How would you describe the identity of play? Yes, how would you say I'm just a very observant person. When I'm playing Sundowns, I don't just look at Sundowns as my opponent. I look at Sundowns and I analyze the players the Sundowns has individually. I agree, we work at the tactics, we analyze these teams so that we know when I'm playing Sundowns, Ramalepe, overlap Hakai, is he a wing back or is just a right back? So those things help me when it comes to maybe moving to the team or playing against it. If you look at Gaborone United, towards DTCB, the playoff. But one thing, it was simpler to me because I knew the players from as my opponent. Then it was time for me to work with them. And the most important thing in footballing is the relationship between the players and the coach. Guru should have that relationship. Even when they were still my opponent, next na problem in Leboni. We have been talking. Like for example, Benton can even ask me, coach, not. But how was my performance? You have to improve 1, 2, 3. So the relationship has been there. So when now it's time for me to coach, to work with them, it becomes simpler for me to work with them. That's why the first week at Gaborone United, I changed a lot of things in terms of how I want the team to play tactically, how I want them to intensity. Because when I get the intensity was slow, they were playing a slow tempo game. So I told them, with this low tempo, you can't do in any game. Okay, in Botswana, you don't need because you are playing with the teams that don't have that quality you're having. But where you want to go, you want to succeed. So I made a lot of tactical position switch. If you look, we lost Lone, which was our best centre half, we're having in the country. But when you lose a player like Lone Hofetu, obviously it will affect the team structure. So as a coach, that's where you will see a good coach there.
how he tries to juggle around with the players. If you recall, Tebe was playing as a winger, a left winger at Tabora United. But when I came then, I didn't see Tebe as a left winger with the qualities that she has. Because if you play as a wide player, most of the time he doesn't get involved in football, in playing. He doesn't involve in creating those moments. But if you check the table, he's one player who's very intelligent. He should always be involved in playing. So by playing here wide, you are limiting her. So now he will play in faces. Then there is this girl, Mchawe. He was playing as a left back, but when Lone left, I valued, checked his strength, his weaknesses. Okay, fine. Where we are going, we can play with two centre halves who can kick the ball far, because the teams that side, they analyze you. Then I brought again, I think it's the most improved player now, the number 13, Atam Busang. He was playing as a right wing, but in that tournament he played as a left hand, as a right back. Then I converted again Spoko to play as a centre half to try to build that that depth, because we didn't have enough depth to compete that side. But all in all, I'm very, very happy with the girls' performance. They really fought hard, looking at how we made those positional shifting.
Right. Do you think we could have won it, looking at the final against UWC? In that final, we were trailing at some point, and Thato Moloi always stepping up when it matters most, with that crucial equalizer to take the game to the penalties. Unfortunately, we did not make it at the penalties, and we missed out on the CAF Champions League. Do you think we could have done something better?
I think the girls, they outdone themselves. So when you see the game going to lottery, now it's not tactical there now. It's who has the heart to take the penalty. Then sometimes you will rely on God, or maybe the goalkeeper will save one penalty. But from training, looking at women football, now I only trained 5 penalty takers. So then I said to them, guys, if you score these 5, we are done. Because there's no way how the girls can score 5 straight penalties. So then when she went to 7, she went to 8, that's when now I said, hey, now here, I don't see us winning it now. It will be God's miracle. But the first 5 penalty takers, I knew that now we got it, because remember, our goalkeeper to me is the best penalty savers. But to go to 8 penalties, 7 without even saving one, so that's when I started saying, hey, maybe it was not our time. But now I believe we should have got it. We should have got it to. We were near. But when the time is not right, God will always be good. Now, what I believe is that one day I will make it, but it was not my time.
Right.
And there's one thing that the commentators, the white ladies, Gloria Brown. After the game, he called me. He said, "Come here. You look young, but what are you having? There's something that you brought in Botswana football. So why are you not in the Botswana technical in the men's technical team?" He said, "No, I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I will be there in one day. So I'm still growing." So then he said, you played with 13 plus for the whole tournament.
Yes.
So the 7 didn't play. The team is good, but you are lacking depth. Very young, we don't have enough depth. Then he said, but one thing that you did good is the technical switches of the positions. That's one thing that helped you, because you knew that you don't have depth. So by juggling around with the players, it helped you, because the team analyzes your team. So when they plan that the Tebe is playing as a 10, you find that the Tebe is playing wide. So now the tactical approach now, ba sokola or can't now because we playing Lawan is playing as a DM. Now Lawan is up front. And that's one thing that it worked for you. But hella, you are struggling with depth. But you okay, fine. Let me do the tactical switches.
Tactical flexibility was there, right?
Yeah.
Coach, unfortunately, we've run out of time. We'll have to end it here. Thank you so much for your time. United Ladies Football.
Thank you. But one thing that I think we should go back and revisit the Malawa thing. Botswana. Remember, Abro United was the only team where was playing without foreigners. So I think we should, if you want to compete there, we should revisit the Mola, or we need foreigners in Botswana so that we can go and compete there. But otherwise, very happy with the guest performance.
Right, Coach Reza Monini, Gaborone United Ladies Football Coach, talking to us about their experience from the just ended CAF Champions League COSAFA qualifiers, where they finished as runners-up, silver medalist from that particular competition, and we've seen the likes of Kesefa Zemochawe, Kitumezi Litebe, as well as Yaone Jessica Modise being named by the COSAFA technical team in the best 11. The COSAFA which speaks to how great this Gaborone side did from this competition, as well as Kitumezi Ditebe being named the player of the tournament. With that, we come to the end of our conversation right here.